dokie. So I think we're going all right on TV. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the last session of McKamie's MasterClass. Thank you to those who are here with us today. We have had fun putting this on for you and learning how to navigate the YouTube streaming life here in the past couple months, and have learned some new tricks and have learned how the copyright algorithm works, but
keeping us young.
Keeping us young, exactly. But for today, what we thought we would do is just a little bit kind of a greatest hits kind of thing. Do a little bit of everything. We're going to do a little bit of playing for you. We've got some fun stories from past musical gigs and experiences. And then we've got a really cool video thing that we're going to show you comparing different violinists playing the same piece. So just a really cool way, this is a Mr. Elijah idea, of how we can listen to the same piece and get so many different emotions and moods and interpretations out of what's on the page. But first things first today, we're going to do a little bit of playing for y'all. So I don't know what we're about to play.
Neither do I. I just looked at a little bit of the first couple of measures and it looked like it might sound fun. It's Mozart, so there's like already a certain level of...
That's a start. I didn't know
it's Mozart.
It's Mozart.
Okay. That helps.
That's a good start.
There's a certain level of already fun and stylistically good choices there. And then I feel like maybe once I heard this before, or it could be that Mozart has a couple of pieces that sound the same. But I just remember it might be fun, so why not? Let's just practice
Mozart's
sight reading.
Yeah, we're just
going
to
see how many double stops I can get in correctly.
Yeah. So you want to start with the Allegro first one?
Yes.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum.
I can handle that. Maybe a little faster?
I can't handle that because I have lots of double stops inside. Okay, fine.
Okay, there it is.
Some little funny things.
Shenanigans, you can't play double stops that fast. That was great.
Oh, well,
yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, Mozart, super character fun. That much faster, or do you want to keep going at this tempo? Just like
we can try
go
faster.
on.
We can try
Yeah,
faster, and then for a second time, let's go on.
Okay, I like it. Also, are you starting this up bow?
Because it
says to. Okay.
I don't know why it says.
I don't know why it says.
But if we did down bow, my natural instinct would be to do down up.
So. Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to find. It's like up.
Let's do down up since the first time we did up down.
Yay. Can we try that again? Because I neither went faster nor looked at the dynamics.
I like down up.
I like it too. Very much Mozart.
Something about it is so familiar, but yeah, I didn't know it.
Yeah.
It's cute though. I like it.
Now, something kind of fun that's going to fit in to what we do here next, here in a second. I think it would be fun if we just switched parts right now, since we're going to talk about what different people playing sound like. And now, well, the difference is, you know, because when I was playing, I had so much of the melody that you didn't have a choice but to do what you do wonderfully and follow me and do the things that I'm doing. And now, reverse roles, you get to be in charge. And everybody, even though we play a lot together and we have a lot of similarities, we're very different players.
Yeah.
I don't like your ideas. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, let's try. Let's see what it sounds like. Do you want to do the whole thing or do you want to just do like one half?
Let's do the whole thing without repeat.
I like it.
Oh, no.
Down, up on the instances, right? Okay.
I did the same thing.
Oh!
I did the exact same thing.
Oh, no!
I did the exact same thing. How very interesting is that? Second violin mindset for some reason, right?
And that's so Mozart just to be like, hey, buddy, trip. Like, I don't even know what I did. What did I do?
I added the third beat, thinking that the idea was rest 2, 3.
Instead of
1, 2,
dum.
rest. Yeah.
Okay, we music nerded out there for a second. Okay, we're back.
30.
This is harder than the first
Yes,
part.
it is. It really is.
My violin is sad. Okay.
I remember when I was in middle school and high school, because of a little bit how the teacher made it, everybody was like, "Oh, it's only cool if you're playing first violin," or you're only good if you're playing first violin, or the best people are playing first violin.
Yeah,
But the only thing that's really cool about playing first violin really is that most of the time you get a melody. But it doesn't mean that the melody is the coolest part.
No.
It doesn't mean that it's the hardest part by any means. And a lot of times, violin 2 and viola are just way more complicated because it's not the melody, and so your brain doesn't really know how it's working.
It's also, from an orchestra point of view, for me, it's way more satisfying to do second violin parts for 2 reasons. One, it takes the pressure off of having to match with 13 other people, picking out a C sharp in the stratosphere and just nailing it, not being the jerk that messes it up. And then the other part is that it's mentally, second violin parts are more mentally challenging in an orchestral setting for me because there's more, you have to switch between being counterpoint to secondary melody to counterpoint to main melody. And like you play a lot more, it's like viola a little bit where you have to constantly switch roles where first violin is usually treble and cello is usually the bass, you know, and anyway.
Let's try it again.
Let's try it again. Second half?
Yes, but where is that here?
22.
Oh, just kidding. I found it.
Or do you want to? Okay.
Wait, where did we lose it? Oh no.
I just started playing the wrong part. This doesn't
Improv.
feel like a duo. This feels more like a teacher-student piece where it's like the student gets to have this and sound pretty wonderful, and the teacher, if they get it and they sound really good, there's enough harmony there that it's like, oh,
it could
very nice.
Be that.
Because these parts are not equal.
I told you.
Is really hard. This ending part is
You're
just
the one who wanted to go fast, though.
I know. That's fine. I didn't say I didn't. My violin is so sad today. I don't know why.
Yes. I failed. Okay. I didn't do that well when it was my turn.
I also... I'm just so sad. Do you have measure 40?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't have a downbeat.
I got downbeat.
Can we try that again, please?
Yes.
I did terrible sound.
I also didn't play all the notes.
Okay.
Hey, fun.
Yeah, that was. I'm excited to hear back our differences.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The differences in.
Well, I definitely know. Well, one of the differences for sure is that I had a little more problem with that sight reading that second violin part than you did.
We did so much faster though.
We did do it faster, but
your end.
Yeah, it's fair trade. Okay, well, now before we switch to the next thing here, we have a special request here from one of our fan followers here. Mama McKamie, the original McKamie MasterClass. Yes. And she has sent me some of her favorite musical jokes. And in true McKamie fashion, what better way to tell a bad joke than with an audience that can't get away? Because it's not like you can click off this video and do anything else on the internet. You're stuck here. You gotta watch us. There's no getting away from it.
There's like no getting out of it.
Yeah, okay. So, you're gonna be the audience. You're gonna test in real time whether or not these are goods or duds.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. What kind of music are balloons afraid of? You actually might get this.
Wait, well, am I allowed to answer like
what
I think the answer is?
They're riddles too. Some of them are jokes, some of them are riddles.
I'll just say it for one. Ask me the question again.
Okay. What kind of music are balloons afraid of?
Anything that comes out of a viola.
Ooh, sick burn. Sick burn. That's actually a better answer, but we have pop music. I wish I had set up a button for rim shots.
I like that.
Why are violins like rivers? Oh, this is actually just a riddle. Why? Think about it.
Because they make flowing sound.
They both have bridges. Getting very cerebral now. What's the difference between a fiddle and a violin?
Well, officially one is smaller.
Yes.
Joking-wise, I don't know.
This says a fiddle smells like hay. Weak. Get the echo. Okay. What do you get when you drop a piano on an army base? Oh, I've said this one. Oh, actually, this is a new one.
I don't know.
A flat major.
Oh, dear.
Mine was if you drop it down a mine shaft, you get A flat minor.
Okay.
Not bad. Why was the violinist arrested? There's a lot of violinists rushing. He was in trouble.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Let's check our viewer count here. -7. Yes, that's what we needed. Okay, what's a mummy's favorite kind of music? You should get this. Think mummy. Think that what they look like.
Toilet paper.
Yeah, and it's what around them.
I don't know. What is it?
Rap.
Rap.
It was rap. Okay, we're gonna just do rapid fire, a whole bunch, real quick. Boom. Where do pianists go for vacation? Florida Keys. Why does Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella? Full drizzle.
I love that one, actually. Okay.
Why did the chicken join the band? Because he had the drumsticks. What kind of music do bunnies like? Hip hop. I like that one. I like that one. Mm-hmm. Why can't they find Beethoven's teacher? This is old. Because he's hiding. Factual and funny. Why don't skeletons play music in church? They have no organs. What do you call a singing laptop? Adele.
Oh,
I don't know. That's clever, but
that's interesting because that's jumping a big generational
gap.
That is,
yeah. How many people know what Adele is and what Adele computer is?
Yeah, very cool.
That's an interesting joke. Okay, and now we have a joke that references terrorism. So I think we're gonna cut off.
Well, I don't want to.
No, we're gonna say it.
I feel.
What's the difference between terrorists and saxophonists? Terrorists have sympathizers. Dang. Okay, there we go. Well, glad this is the last episode before we get canceled. All right.
Yeah, there's a 2-set video where they're telling jokes to each other, and one of them, I don't remember their names. I think it's Eddie and something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of them keeps bringing up the same joke, but he sets it up in such a way that...
Oh, Brett. Yeah.
Eddie and Brett. Okay, so let's pretend it's Eddie. Eddie keeps bringing up a joke, and Brett sets and Brett, never sees it coming. But the joke is the same every time, and it's like, what did the bassoonist say to the violist? What? You suck. And then he keeps asking, what did the tubist say to the violist? What did the violinist say to the violist? And every time he's just like, you suck. And every time they just start cracking up, and I'm like, okay, guys, I get it.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
It's one of those things that's like, the first time you hear, you're like, okay, it's okay. And then
the more they do it.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it gets really stupid and it makes you mad. And then 1 crosses the threshold, and now it's the funniest thing you've ever seen.
It's funny.
Yeah, and it pretty much stays that way. Okay, so for the next part, we are going to move over to the new station. Everybody staring at the wall. I'm moving a microphone. It's going to be really loud, and I'm sorry because actually I'm going to mute it. Also, my mic was off the whole time, so you guys didn't even hear me talking about all the confusion and the problems that I'm having. Okay, there we go. That looks like something that should be up on the old TV screen here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about that interpretation idea. So we're going to play for you a piece that both of us have studied before. And it's called Isaiah's Sonata Number 3. That's nicknamed the Ballade. Very, very cool piece. Very, very interesting. Lots of good crazy stuff going on in there. But we're going to listen to 3 or 4 different people play it. I've got I don't know if you've thought about a couple people in mind. I've got 2 that come to the top of my mind as far as famous recording and then recording that I really like.
Yeah, I think we might have the same, maybe one in mind that is a really nice
We might have, yeah. I know that at least one of them is going to be very, very similar. But this first person we're going to listen to is a character named Maxim Vingarov, who is I'm not even going to guess. I'm just going to read it. He is a Russian-born Israeli violinist. Very interesting character. Been well known for a long time from, let's see, when did he start? I bet he started when he was probably about 12 years old. I'm going to guess he was famous. Nope, he was famous since he was 10 years old.
Started at 5.
Started at 5. Yep, famous by 10. There you go. Anywho, this violinist is known a lot for his very... I don't want to use the word aggressive, but very passionate. Yes, and just extreme emotion. And it's never, because aggressive sometimes gets across the term that would be like abrasive. Yeah. And I don't want any negative connotations of this because it's intense. But this is an example of somebody who plays this piece very, very, very fast. Very, very, very fast. So this starts with a very beautiful slow part, but for the sake of time, we're going to skip into the main theme of the piece so that you guys can hear how people approach the theme in different ways. So let's just jump in. So we're just going to have to listen to these a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna go over here. Here we go. So now we're getting right up to the point. We'll let this play. He just dives right in. Okay. And so it goes on and on like that. This is probably the more intense moment of the piece. And while this is not one of the main sources of musical differentiation between the pieces, it's probably the clearest. Because this is a piece where we don't really have a whole lot of indications. The first measure is half a page. Isai did that on purpose because he didn't want anyone to feel restricted with how they interpreted the notes. He just thought if you see a half note and a quarter note, the half note should be longer than the quarter note. That's it. But how much longer? Up to you. So Vingerov here, he takes the just bombastic approach, just boom, super forward and just really pushes through the piece. I think he plays it in 5 minutes. And most, or like 5:20, yeah, because most people record this piece somewhere in the neighborhood of 6:20, I would say, like a little over 6 minutes. And the one that I like, that I'm going to show you next, which is Augustine Heidelberg. Yes, okay. He plays it in like 7, and and it's not that it's any less exciting. He just takes a little bit more. It's different. He just takes a little bit more time, and so yeah, let's listen to Augustine. Augustine, I can spell.
With an E.
No, I can't spell. But I found it.
Yes.
Heilig. I always say his name wrong. I always feel bad about that. Okay. There we go.
That one measure intro.
Sorry, we're gonna skip through it. So one of the things that differentiates him is he really takes time in that intro. It's almost twice as long as what Vingerov takes. But just hear how he approaches the theme in this first part here. So clean. So what I really like about this interpretation is when he plays it the first time, it's so restrained and it's very controlled and very rhythmic. And then right there when he plays it again, it's also very controlled. But at one point he allows himself to go and just like push through and come back. And that's an idea that he pushes through the whole piece that I think, or his interpretation. Because then at the end he does the same thing Vingerov does, where it's just like. Chug, 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 chug. And he moves towards the end, and it's such a good ramping up because he saved it. He saved it for the end. And that's why I really like this particular recording of it, is because he...
I think that it's really interesting to come immediately from Vingerov's, because to me, in my opinion, the older generation of players were more okay with a passionate approach and if not all the notes come out, it's okay. Or if we just go wild, like the way that Vingerov was playing was like he knew the piece. Loose. He knew the piece so well already that he could maybe change a rhythm here and there. He could maybe let the pitch bend in here and there. He's really adding his own kind of techniques. And if you're trying to like write down on paper what he wrote, you wouldn't write down what was written. Yeah, you wouldn't get it exactly because he's just kind of just doing whatever he wants. He's making his own interpretation in the good way. Whereas with Augustine, it's so clean. you hear every single note, you hear every single rhythm, you hear every single intention, and it doesn't make it less or more interesting. It's just like it's a generational thing. I think
it is a generational thing. It's also what you listen to and like what's important to you as a listener. Because one thing with classical music, especially, that we have to let go a lot of times is audio fidelity. Because there are so many phenomenal recordings of people that we have from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s that were, at the time, they were doing the best they can, but now it's just garbage recording.
Yeah.
But you have to listen through to the musicality and what was being said. And so now with this new wave where that's not as big of a deal, where everybody can be recorded in high quality, now it really is it's a taste and a preference. And like you said, it's kind of a long lost style of what it was like to play in a hall versus what it was like to be recorded with a microphone a foot away from you. Because if you're in a hall, you can fudge things just from virtue of echo. So if you're doing a massive, really, really fast, you could do it where you don't hit all the notes, but you're articulating and it sounds like you're doing that. You did that on a recording, no dice. That's not going to fly. So... Okay, so now let's do one more.
Could I say one more thing about Mr. Augustine here?
Sure.
Because I was looking at recordings the other day of this. So Mr. Augustine Hadelicht is a very inspirational person because he was in an accident when he was very young and he got burned a lot. And he stopped playing violin for a while. He thought he wasn't going to play ever again. And now he's one of the most famous soloists. There's also a recording of this Isai from a violinist who does not have a bow hand.
Really?
Yes. And he is playing very, very well. No. Oh. Man.
What?
You could have just typed in Isai. Oh, it's that guy, though.
Where?
On the bottom here.
This one?
Look. Oh. And he sounds very good from what I heard.
Wow.
So passionate.
Yeah, let's hear. How does this guy only have 500 subscribers? That is unbelievable.
I have no reason
unbelievable. To practice. Every one of you go practice. There are no excuses. Zero excuses.
Okay, but anyway.
Okay, one more person. You give me. Who do you want for your eye?
I'm kind of tempted to see Ray Chen just because Ray Chen visually looks like he has very terrible technique, but his sound is so great.
Oh, this is Obsession.
Oh, yeah, just kidding.
Well, let's see.
No,
oh, great. Now this is stuck. There we go. Yeah, Ray Chen, phenomenal young generation violinist. He actually does a lot of stuff with Two Set. They're like super ultimate best friend club. They hang out all the time. Let's just see. What'd you say?
Hillary?
Sure.
Miss Dr. Hillary?
I'm sure she's got one on here. Is this the one where she's playing for the Pope? No. That's a different one. So she's right in between the two for a minute versus 2 minutes. Yeah, it's cool too because I feel like that's definitely a blend of the two things that we just heard, where it was you had all that energy, but so much clean, just Mr. Clean, Miss Clean. I mean,
and she has a tame amount of energy with a very accurate amount of notes.
And it's unfair too for us to judge their interpretations off of 45 seconds because it grows so much more, and even though like we can hear these differences. There's so many more differences to be heard if you listen to the whole piece and you really compare it all the way through with those kinds of things. But
the best part about it is that it's an interpretation. Yeah. Like, if we could do the most simplest Maybe one day we'll do it. We'll have like a intense competition, but with the most simplest of things, like how many different ways can we play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star?
Yeah.
How many different styles can Twinkle Twinkle come off? That's basically what we're learning from all the different soloists. Yeah. Because at a base level, they're all so amazing, and like no matter what they play, it's gonna sound great. It's just how they play it that you end up deciding, oh, I like that one a little more, or I like that one a little more.
And again, guys, that's the goal. Anytime, I don't care what music you're making or anything, it applies to anything you're doing in life. Once you understand the tools of your trade, then it starts to be fun because then you can use those tools to do whatever you want. You know, craft your sound, have interpretations, do pieces like this, play with other people. You know, playing music games. I remember one of the fun music games that we would play in Colorado when I was doing my master's is it was very silly. We would sit together in a circle, a bunch of violinists, and we would put on headphones, you know, like these that would cover your ears so that you really couldn't hear, and they would play, they'd pick a concerto, so Tchaikovsky, Sibelius, you know, whatever, and blast it in your ears, and they put the music in front of you, and you had to play along, and you couldn't hear yourself, and at the time, for all of us, none of us could play this music. Like, some of us had goofed around and played like little excerpts, but none of us could do it, let alone in tempo. So it was a riot to sit around and have people just go, not being
able to hear themselves.
You don't hear yourself, trying to keep up, and the whole point of it was just to be stupid. So, you know, but it's still doing stuff like that. It's still fun though to be able to read the music and even just fake dive all the way through. You know, it's fun.
That would be fun with Sibelius.
It would be fun with Sibelius. Okay, well that was pretty much what we had planned for you guys for the last day. It was just a little bit of playing, a little bit of talking and checking out, and just saying thank you for hanging out with us and for being such good students and all that good stuff. And as always, if you guys ever need help over the summer, feel free to contact us. We're always here to help you out. We've got some YouTube channels coming on the way, you know, where we're putting out different things, putting out music. Mr. Zoltan is trying to record some music too, so I'm sure he'll get some stuff out there for you. But anyway, guys, I hope you have a fantastic Friday, a great summer, and we will catch you all later.